Hello, my name is Michelle, and I've prepared for you this 45-minute well-rounded chair yoga practice that you can do anytime you want to move better, feel a bit better in your body and in your mind. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Let's get started. Sitting on the edge of the chair, feet are firmly grounded. Just taking a moment to settle into the practice. Give yourself a few breaths just to tune into sensations in your body. Allow yourself to become just a little bit more present and feeling the feet, whatever surface they're on, feeling the hands against the thighs. And just using these sensations in the body to help anchor you into the present moment, draw you out of whatever thought process, away from your to-do list. And paying attention to the breath, just feel the breath as it comes in and feel the breath as it goes out. And finding a little bit of softness as you breathe in, feeling the chest broaden, the rib cage expand. And as you breathe out, allow the face to soften, the fingers, the shoulders to soften. And again, breathing in, expanding, broadening. And breathing out, softening. And one more breath like that. A breath in. And a breath out. Feeling it, using the breath, the sensations in the body to kind of anchor you into what's happening now. Lovely. We'll begin. So taking one hand down, the other hand can just rest on your lap. As you inhale, sweep the arm up alongside the ear. And then as you exhale, taking it over to the side, try to stay long through both sides of the body. And then back up to center, hand floats down. Same thing, other side, so hand to the knee, other hand sweeping it up. And as you exhale, over to the side. And then back up to center, hand floats down. A nice easy twist, hand to the opposite knee, other hand behind you. As you inhale, lengthen. Exhaling into the twist, make it easy. Make it comfortable. And then back to center, same thing, other side. So hand to the opposite knee, other hand behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Exhaling into the twist. And then back to center. Hands rest on your knees. Take the shoulders, roll them up and back. A little bit of movement through the neck. Just kind of feeling how these initial movements are feeling in the body. And then hands, palms up, thumbs back. Stretch the arms out, grow long through the front of the body. Maybe take the arms a little bit back behind you, opening up through the front of the chest. And as you inhale, lift the chest up. And as you exhale, hands float down. Lovely. Just pausing for a breath, breathing in. And letting the breath go. Good. Start to move a little bit more through the spine. So hands can just rest on your knees. I'll turn to the side so that you can see what's happening in my spine, but feel free to keep yourself face onto the camera. As you inhale, lift the chest up, shoulders away from the ears and draw them back. And then as you exhale, round the spine back, maybe leaning back, navel draws in, tailbone lengthens. And then back and forth. Inhale, chest lift, shoulders back. Exhale, rounding it back. Let's do two more. Inhale, chest lifts, shoulders down and back. And exhale, rounding it back. And then last time, inhale, chest lift, shoulders back. Exhale, rounding the spine back. And then come up to a nice straight spine, head stacked on top of the chest. And a breath here, breathing in. And breathing out. And a little bit more movement through the arms. And so we'll move with the breath a few times through this sequence. So starting with the arms resting down by your sides. As you inhale, swoop the arms up. Keep the front ribs down. And then as you exhale, bring the arms to cactus arms. As you inhale, take the arms back, opening up the front of the chest. And then as you exhale, push the hands back, round the spine back, stretching through the upper back. And then again, inhale, arms up, spine is straight, front ribs down. Exhale to cactus arms, shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, chest lifts, shoulders back. And exhale, pressing forward, rounding the spine back. We'll do one more. Inhale, arms up, front ribs down. Exhale to cactus arms. Inhale, arms back, chest lifts, maybe look up. Exhale, pressing the hands forward, rounding the spine back. And as you inhale, come back up, arms up. Pause here for a breath. Reaching the arms up, front ribs down, so you can a little bit into the shoulder. And then relaxing the hands down. Lovely. Again, rolling the shoulders. Just moving the spine, moving the neck. And gently starting to loosen up the body. Then a little bit more through the upper body now. A little strengthening movement I like to do before we get into sun salutations called a good morning. So we're going to come back to cactus arms again. And then we're going to take the arms back just a little bit so you're opening up through the front of the chest. And we're going to be leaning forward, so you want your feet nice and firm. And then firming all the muscles around the torso to keep the spine straight. So inhaling here. And then as you exhale, keep the spine straight, just leaning forward until you feel a little bit of engagement through the upper back. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. The shoulder blades are sliding down towards the hips. Stay here, inhale. And then exhale, come all the way back to the starting point. Keep the arms in cactus arms. Inhale here. Exhale back to your good morning. I'm feeling just a little bit of engagement around the upper back. Inhale here. Exhale all the way back up. Let's do one more. Inhale here. Exhale, coming forward into your good morning. Tummy's firm. Inhale here. Exhale all the way back up to straight. And then as you inhale again, reaching the arms up, stretching through the shoulders, side body's long. And then exhale, float the hands down. Lovely. And again, just a little bit of movement. Feeling if there's anything kind of stuck in the body, moving the neck, moving the shoulders, whatever you've been up to for the last few days, just feel how it's kind of sitting there in your body. And then coming to our sun salutations. So I'll turn back around to the front, sitting on the edge of your seat, feet are firmly planted, spine is nice and tall. Relaxing the arms down by your side. And then as you next inhale, sweep the arms up. Keep the front ribs down. And then as you exhale, come back to that good morning. So cactus arms, spine is straight, torso is firming. Inhale here, chest is lifting. And then exhaling, coming all the way down. Let the head drop. Maybe sitting the sit bones back. Pausing for a moment, just feeling the length through the back, the mid back, the low back. Allowing the head to drop. As you inhale, bring hands to knees and come up halfway so the shoulders are away from the ears. The hands are light on the knees, just a little bit of support. Inhale here. Exhale, folding all the way down again. And then rising, inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more like that. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, cactus arms into your good morning. Inhale here. Exhale and fold. Hands to knees, inhale, come up halfway, shoulders away from the ears, neck is long. Exhale, fold, hands to the floor. And rising, inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do one more just like that. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, come halfway, cactus arms. Inhale here, arms back, chest lifts. Exhale and fold. Hands to knees, inhale, come up halfway, neck is long, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, fold. And rising, inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Lovely. Relax the hands down on your knees. And then pausing for a breath, breathing in. And letting the breath go. Good. So we'll come on to the next pose, which is boat pose. So getting a little bit more into the front of the core. So again, sitting on the edge of your chair, we're going to be leaning back. So give yourself enough space to lean back, starting with the hands resting on the knees. And we're going to be leaning back, but I want you to keep the front of the body nice and long. So we're not going to be curling the spine back. You're going to firm all the muscles around the torso, especially in the front, to keep your back straight. So shoulders down, away from the ears. Front of the chest is broad. And then just start to lean back a little bit. Notice as you lean back, you feel that little bit of engagement in the front here. So the front ribs are connecting with the hip points. Find that point that feels like there's a little bit of engagement happening there, but not so much that you're collapsing into the lower back. And then pause there for breath, breathing in. And breathing out, coming all the way back up, keeping that spine nice and straight. And let's go in and out of that. So inhale here. Exhale into your boat pose. So the spine stays straight, finding that connection, lifting up out of the lower back. And then coming back up as you inhale. And then one more. Inhale here. Exhale into your boat pose. Inhale here. Exhale, rising back up. Lovely. We're going to go back into boat pose. We're going to pause there. We're going to add the arms. So starting with the hands resting on your knees, and start to lean back, keeping the spine nice and straight, and finding that point that feels good, so you can still lift up out of the lower back and stay nice and firm through the front of the core. And then either stay here with the hands resting on the knees, or maybe reach the arms out in front. So the shoulders are plugged into their sockets. Chest is lifting up. Spine is long. A breath here, inhaling. And then exhaling, coming all the way back up. Resting the hands on the knees. Then pause for breath. Breath in. And let the breath go. Good. Then moving on a little bit. I'm going to add the legs here too. So starting out with the hands resting on the knees. Sitting up nice and tall, and then start to lean back, starting with that first boat pose that we did. So the hands are just resting on the knees, shoulders are back, front of the chest is broad, and then reaching the arms out. And then maybe adding a knee as well. So one knee lifts in, the foot is flexed, keep lifting up nice and tall. And then foot back down, and other knee, lifting it up, keep lifting up the front of the chest, breath in. And a breath out, foot back down, lifting back up in your seat, and then hands rest down on your lap. And then pause, breathing in, and letting the breath go. Nice. So next pose we're going to do, we're going to add a twist. So a little bit of a deeper twist. So we're going to get more into the upper back. So feet just rest firmly, anchored into the floor. Bring the hand to the opposite knee, and then the other hand's going to come to cactus arms. The shoulder blade on that side is lifting the front of the chest up, so you're staying nice and broad. And we're going to move with the breath. So as you inhale, lengthen. And then as you exhale, opening up into the twist. And then coming back as you inhale. Exhaling back into the twist, sitting nice and tall. And then one more, inhale back to center. And then this time we're going to hold, so as you exhale, coming into the twist, and go as far as you can, try to keep the front of the chest lifting up, and then staying in the twist, lengthen through the spine, and then the body stays in the twist, the arm stays in the twist, but just the head turns back, maybe looking over your opposite shoulder if the neck is happy to, and head turns back into the twist, and then one more time, head turns, body stays. Pause here, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, body returns back to center. Hands relax down on your lap. And then roll shoulders, moving the neck. And the same thing on the second side. So hand to the opposite knee. This hand can just kind of press down to help you get a little bit longer through the spine. Other hand goes to cactus arms. Inhale, get tall. Exhale into the twist. Inhale back to center. Exhale back into the twist. Keep Keep tall through the spine. And then inhale back to center. This time we're going to hold. So coming into the twist, keeping the length through the spine. Keep the front ribs firming down just a little bit. Front of the chest is broad. And then the body stays in the twist. Just the head comes back to center, maybe over your other shoulder. And then head goes back into the twist. And then again, body stays in the twist. Just the head comes back. Maybe looking over your opposite shoulder. Stay here, get tall. As you exhale, body returns back to center. Roll the shoulders, move the neck, and then any kind of movements that feel good through the spine, helping to release any tension that might have built up from that twist. Good. And moving on to the next, we're going to have a little bit of a focus on the hips now, the front of hip. But before we get started with that, just bring one knee up. You can have either the hand around the shin or the back of the thigh, whichever feels better. And then just use the weight, allow the leg to kind of relax into the hand. So the hands are holding up the leg, relaxing the front of the hip, and just kind of exploring how the hip is feeling. So moving it around as joint and sitting up nice and tall. And then releasing the foot back down to the floor. And then same thing, second side. So hand either goes around the shin or the back of the thigh. And then again, allowing the leg to just relax into the hands. Exploring any kind of sensation. Just feeling if there's any areas of tightness or discomfort. Just really getting to know the shape of the hip joint. And then bringing the foot back down to the floor. And have a little bit of a sequence with marching the legs. So we're going to start with the arms up, front ribs are down, arms are long. Inhale here. And as you exhale, just bring the knee in towards the nose. Allow the spine to round. And then inhale, arms up, foot down. Exhale, second side. So allowing the spine to round, just bringing the knee and the nose towards each other. And then again, inhale, arms up, foot down. Exhale, back to the first side. Inhale, arm up, foot down. Exhale, second side. And then we're going to do one more either side and hold for a bit. So inhale, go long. Exhale, back to the first side. So bring the knee and the nose together. Navel's firming in. Keep the shoulders soft. And pause here for a breath. And then release the foot. Arms go long. And then second side. So hands around the shin. Bring the knee and the nose towards each other. And just pause here for a moment. Navel's firming in. And then release. Foot down, arm long. Inhale. And then exhale. Floating the hands back down. And then a little bit more through the fronts of the knee. So for that one, we're allowing the spine to round. For this one, we're going to be keeping the spine straight. So we'll have to firm all the muscles around the torso to do that. You can rest the hands down on the sides of the chair for support. And then starting with one foot. So lifting the knee up, the foot is flexed. And then bring it back down. And then same thing, second side. And notice the body's going to want to curl. So resist it as best as you can. So the chest stays lifted. And then foot down. And then back to the first side. So knee up, foot down. And second side, knee up, foot is flexed, and down. And then back to the first side again, and let's hold here. So bringing the knee up, sitting up nice and tall, foot is flexed, so the whole leg is right. And pause here, breath in. Breathing out, let the foot go. And then second side for the hold, so knee comes up, sitting up nice and tall, so the chest stays lifted, shoulders softening away from the ears. And a breath here, inhaling. Exhaling, foot back down to the floor. Lovely. So we're going to add a little bit more to that. So we're going to be bringing the knee up and then straightening the leg, doing that a few times just to build strength through the fronts of thighs. So starting with the first side, as you inhale, lift the knee up. As you exhale, straighten the leg so the foot presses forward. Inhale, knee back up, keep sitting up straight. Exhale, foot down. Second side, inhale, knee up. Exhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, bring it back. And exhale to the floor. And back to the first side. Inhale, knee up, sitting up straight. Exhale, foot forward. Inhale, knee back up. Exhale, foot down. And then second side. Inhale, knee up, foot is flexed. Exhale, straighten the leg, foot presses forward. Inhale, bending the knee back in again. And exhale, foot to the floor. I'm going back to the first side, we're going to hold the legs straight for a breath. So as you inhale, bring the knee up. As you exhale, stretch it forward. Stay here, inhale. Stay here, exhale. And then as you inhale, bring the knee back up. Exhale down. Second side, inhale, knee up. Exhale, straighten the leg. Stay here, inhale. Stay here, exhale. And inhale, bringing the knee back up. Exhale, foot down. Lovely. And then just one more move while we're sitting here working a little bit more to the sides of the hip. So this one we're going to hold, we're not going to move in and out. And standing up nice and tall. And I want you to make sure everything stays still and only the knee moves. So bringing the knee up. And then we're going to take the knee out to the side. So resist any kind of movement through the rest of the body. And nice and slow, just bringing the knee out to the side. Keep sitting up tall, firm in the core, firm in the other leg to keep it from moving with that knee. Pause here, breath in, breath out. And then knee comes back to center, foot plants down. Lovely. And the same thing on the second side. So other knee comes up. Everything stays firm to keep this still. Nice and slow, take the knee out to the side. Lovely. And keep sitting up tall, spine is long. And breath in. Stay here, breath out. And then release. Bring the knee back to center, foot down to the floor. Give the legs a little rub. And then pause, finding your breath. And softening anything that might have added tension, allowing the jaw to soften, allowing your breath to be even and smooth. And then from here, we'll come on to hamstring stretch. And so for this one, if you don't have a strap, this is a great way to do it. So this knee stays bent, foot is underneath the knee, and then this leg straightens out to the front. And then keeping the front of the body nice and long, so the pelvis is tilting forward. Sit bones are reaching towards the back of the chair. Just start to come forward, keeping the hand on the knee for support. That foot stays flexed. And that heel, that on the leg that you're stretching, presses into the floor and then draws back towards the chair. And keep the chest reaching forward. Keep the foot super flexed. So we're getting into the back of the calf, back of the ankle. And then pausing for a breath, breathing in and breathing out. And then one more breath here. Inhale. Exhaling, release. Coming back up to sitting. Hands behind the thigh. Just help your leg coming back up to underneath you. And then same thing on the other side. So straightening the other leg. I like to keep a tiny bend to this knee, just so that you can get a little bit more engagement through the muscle. Other foot is stacked underneath the knee. Sit bones are reaching back. Pelvis, hips are tilting forward. And just start to bring yourself forward, keeping the front of the chest reaching forward and a little bit down. The shoulders are soft. And then with the heel and the leg that you're stretching, kind of dig it in a little bit into the floor and pull it back a little bit towards the chair. And you feel the back of the muscle, the back of the leg start to engage. The muscles start to contract. And then pausing here, breath in, breath out. One more breath. And then release. Help yourself coming back up. Hands behind the thigh, help your foot coming back up underneath you. And then pausing here, allowing the breath to come easily. If you make your way up to a standing position, and I'm going to turn myself to the side so that you can see what I'm doing. We're going to do squats, chair squats actually, where we start standing, come down to almost sitting, but pause there and then come all the way back up. So it's a good way to strengthen the legs without putting too much demand on the knees by coming all the way down to the chair. So you can kind of pick the level that works best for you. With the technique, sometimes, especially if the hips are tight, we end up bending quite a bit through the knees. Instead, I want you to bend as much as you can through the hips. So the hips are hinging back and the knees kind of stay a little bit more over the feet. So we're getting the back body to work a little bit harder. So coming all the way back up, and we'll move with the breath. So starting with feet, hip width apart or something that feels nice and stable, and keeping the chest lifted, just start to zip the hips back, keeping the knees over the feet, and pause here, breathing in, breathing out, coming all the way back up, pressing through the heels to do so. Inhale here. Exhale, sitting back. So the hips are going back, knees are staying over the feet. Pause here, inhale. Exhale, coming all the way back up. And we'll do 3 more. Inhale here. Exhale, hips back, sitting down into your chair. And pause, breathe in. Breathe out, coming all the way back up. So the toes are light, the weight's in the heels. Let's do 2 more. Inhale here. Exhale, hips back, sitting down into your chair. Keep the chest lifted. Pause here, inhale. Exhale, all the way back up. Lovely, last one. Inhale here. Exhale, hips back, sitting down. Weights in the heels, toes are light. Pause here, breath in. All the way back up as you breathe out. Lovely. And then coming to stand beside your chair. Come into our standing balances now. So a little bit of a sequence here to strengthen the side of the hip and the outer hip. So we worked quite a bit through the front here in the seated poses. Now we're getting into the back of the hip. I'm going to turn myself around so that you can see what's happening with my leg. Feel free to stand however is comfortable. So you have a hand on your chair or the wall and you're not leaning over. You're still kind of stacked over your feet. Hand on whatever support you like. We're going to be pouring our weight. We're going to be standing on the right foot. So just shift the weight over into the right foot. Come up onto the ball of the left foot. And then your left hand can just rest here on your hip. Then lifting the knee up. And pausing here. The hips stay level so that right outer hip is pressing in to keep the hip points level with the floor. So both legs are working. Pause here. Inhale. And then exhale. Bring the foot back down. Same thing on the second side, so pouring the weight into the left foot. Just come up onto the ball of the right foot. And you might notice if your standing knee is kind of locked back, then have a little bit of a bend to that knee. So you're getting the thigh muscles, the calf muscles working a bit harder. And then right knee comes up, foot is flexed, the whole leg is integrated. And then your standing outer hip is pressing in to keep you standing tall and the hip points stay level. A breath here, inhale. And then exhale, both feet back down. So now we're going to come into a little sequence here. We're going to be bringing the knee up and then down, out to the side, and then knee up and down, back diagonally, and then knee up, foot down, and then taking the leg back, all the while keeping the torso nice and still and upright. So we're not going to be leaning the torso forward. So working the whole body. So your hands on your support, weight pours into the right foot, and then just start by lifting the left knee up, hips stay level, left foot is flexed, and then bring the foot back down, take the leg out to the side, so we're getting more into the outer hip, and then bring the knee back up again, and then foot down, take it out diagonally back, so we're getting more into the outer hip, the glute, and then knee up. And then this time take it all the way back behind you. So it's not going to go very far, especially if you're firm in the torso and keeping up nice and tall. And then bring the knee back up again. Lovely. And then foot back down. And then the same thing on the second side. So again, just finding your position. Weight this time pours into. I'll turn around so that you can see what I'm doing. So weight's on your left foot. Just come up under the ball of the right foot. And then when you're ready, knee up. And steady yourself. And then we'll flow into that same sequence. So foot down, leg out to the side, whole torso is firm and upright. And then knee back up again. Standing knee is a little bit soft. And then foot down, take it out on a diagonal. Try to resist leaning away from that leg. And then knee comes up. This time taking it back behind you. You're not leaning forward. The torso stays up nice and straight. Getting more into that hamstring. And then knee back up again. Pause here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Letting the foot go. Okay, give your legs a little wiggle. Give the hips a little wiggle. And then from here, we'll come into our lunge. So again, focusing on building strength through the legs. And we're going to have the hands down a little bit. So position your chair in a way that feels comfortable and bring the legs right up close so that you can kind of use the chair for support. Feet starting hip width apart so you got some space, a nice stable base. Then take your right foot back. So the leg is nice and long. Your torso is leaning forward, and then the front leg, if the knee is a little bit tender, you can straighten it a little bit. If the knee is happy to, you can start to bend it until it comes right over that front foot. And the hands are light on the chair. Back leg is fired up, and the chest is reaching forward, so the whole body is working in this. And then pausing here for a breath, breathing in, breathing out, stepping it forward. Lovely. Same thing, second side. So knees are starting nice and close to the chair. Stepping the left foot back. And then adjusting your stance. So again, if the knee is a bit tender, it might feel a bit better to have it straighter. If the knee is happy to, then you can bend into that front knee, but try to keep it stacked over your foot. So don't let it shoot beyond that foot. You're putting too much pressure on the front of that knee. And we're leaning forward. The hands are nice and light on the chair, so the legs are doing a lot of the work, and the back leg is really fired up. So the whole back of that leg is pressing up towards the ceiling. And then pausing here, breathing in, and breathing out. Step it forward. Good. And we're going to come into that lunge again, and then we'll come into downward dog. But this time we're going to be bending and straightening the front knee. So working into the hamstring, keeping the hands light on the chair. So coming first into your lunge, standing nice and close to the chair. When you're ready, right foot steps back. And keep the feet hip distance apart. So it's more like the legs are on railroad tracks rather than a tightrope. And then starting with the knee bent to a comfortable position. So whatever works best for those knees. And then the hands, you can make them light on the chair. So the lighter the hands are on the chair, the more this hamstring is going to work. So really play to what feels good for you today. And the chest is reaching forward, the hips stay level with the chair. And then nice and easily, just start to straighten the front leg. Try to keep the torso where it is. And then bend into it again. And just experiment, do that a few more times, practicing that the hands are light on the chair, so the leg is doing more of the work. And then bending the knee again. And then one more time, straightening the front knee. And then we're going to pause here, getting a little bit more into the back of this hamstring, so stretching through the back of the hamstring. And so the hips are reaching back, chest is reaching forward, a little bit of a bend to that front knee. And maybe if you need more intensity, a more intense stretch through the back of this front leg, keep the front of the body long and start to reach the chest down towards the chair. Keep the back of the neck long, and hands are as light as you feel comfortable with. Breath in, and a breath out. We'll release. Lift up first, bend into the front knee, and then stepping it forward, back towards the chair. And then the same thing on the second side. So starting close to the chair, hands rest lightly on the chair. If the fingers are feeling a bit sore, you can maybe try fists to take some of the pressure off of the fingers and the wrists. And then left foot steps back. And then just take a moment to find that stride that feels comfortable. So the front knee, we'll start with it bent as much as comfortable. And feet are a little bit wider apart, so more railroad tracks rather than a tightrope, so you feel stable. And then the back leg is super strong, so don't let that leg kind of sag like spaghetti. You want it to be super strong. And looking forward, the hips are level with the seat of the chair. Fingers as light on the chair as feels comfortable. And then keeping the torso reaching forward, just start to straighten the front leg. Maybe experimenting with hands a bit lighter. And bend into the knee again. We'll do that 2 more times, so straighten the front leg. Hands maybe a little bit lighter. And then bending into the knee again. And then this time we'll hold, so first straightening the front leg, just to what feels comfortable. Back leg stays super strong, reaching the chest forward. And then remembering, if you want a little bit more intensity, keep the front of the body long, reach the chest down towards the chair. And just find that point that feels like the level of intensity in the back leg that you feels good. And breath in, and a breath out, release. So first lifting up, and then bending into the front knee. Breathe in here. Breathe out, step it forward. Okay. And then from here, coming into your downward dog. So hands just rest lightly on the chair. Feet hip width apart, walking the feet back, keeping the hips stacked over the feet. And then a little bit of a bend to the knee, stretch the hips towards the wall behind you. And let the head find a comfortable position for the neck. Maybe the ears are in line with the arms. And if you feel a little bit of compression in the lower back, then try to lengthen, broaden across the lower back. So your tailbone is dropping down a little bit towards the heels, just to create more space there. If this is too intense on the shoulders, maybe drop the elbows down a little bit, take some of that out. Finding that comfortable position for the arms. And a breath in, hips reaching back, broadening through the mid back, the lower back. And then when you're ready, stepping it forward, back towards your chair, coming back up to upright. Lovely. Then pausing for breath. Breath in. And let the breath go. So last standing pose. And this is a variation of Warrior 3 that I really like to help strengthen around the hamstring and the glute. So we're going to be standing a little bit close to the chair, and then hands can rest on the seat of the chair, either palms flat, or, if that feels better, maybe stacking your fists. And then we're going to start by standing on the left foot, left leg, and then just take your right foot back, but start with the ball of the foot down on the floor. Now we're going to be lifting this leg up, but we want to keep this broad and this firming in. So we're not going to be coming into a back bend. So the leg's not going to be lifting up very far. Standing is a little bit soft. Hips will stay level with the floor. So firming the navel in towards the spine. Keeping that, just lift the leg up just a little bit. Breathe in. Breathe out, lower back down. Do that 2 more times. So inhaling it up. Exhaling it down. And then last time we will hold, inhale, lifting it up. And then pausing here, making the leg long, making your spine long, extending through the crown of the head. Maybe opposite arm, come to cactus arm. Maybe stretching it up. Breath here, inhale. Exhale, hand down, foot back on the floor beside your left. Lovely. And then come up for a minute. And give the wrists a shake. Release any pressure, especially if the wrists are arthritic. If you have arthritis in the hands, it can be quite intense having the fingers down. So just take a break, give it a twirl, release any kind of tension that's built up. And then we'll move on to the second side. So starting feet hip width apart. And then leaning forward, you want a nice long spine, either palms flat or maybe stacking your fists if that feels a little bit better. Weight comes into the right foot, a little bit of a bend to the right knee, and then take the left leg back. Start with it on the ball of the foot and use this position to firm the navel in. So this is all, you're not going to come into a back bend in the lower back. This is all going to stay broad. Chest is reaching forward. And then as you inhale, left leg floats up just a little bit. Then exhale it down. Inhale it up. Exhale it down. And then this time we'll hold. So inhale it up. And then holding here, maybe, if you've got enough room, the opposite arm comes to cactus arms. Stay nice and long through the leg, long through the spine. And maybe arm stretches up alongside the ear. Breathe in here, arm and leg long. And exhale, hand down, foot down, and down to downward dog. Hands rest lightly on the chair. Walking the feet back. Hips stay over the feet. And stretching the hips back. I like a little bit of a bend to my knees because I feel like I get more length through the spine. And if this is compressing the lower back, remember you can draw your navel up a bit so you're broadening through the lower back instead of crunching into it. And the breath here, inhale. Exhale, walking back towards the chair. Coming up nice and slow. And breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. And then make your way nice and slow down to your seat. Taking a comfortable seat, still sitting on the edge of your chair so that the pelvis is free, the spine is long. And then just take this moment to feel the effects of the practice on your body. Feeling that connection, the feet to the floor, sit bones against the chair. Allow your breath to become a little bit more even and smooth. And then a few little movements to close the practice. So first, a nice twist, make it easy. So hand to the opposite knee, other hand behind you. Inhale, grow tall. Exhaling, twist. Inhale back to center. And same thing, second side. So hand to the opposite knee, other hand behind you. Inhale, tall. Exhale into the twist. And then coming all the way back to center. And take the palms up, thumbs back. And just like we did at the beginning, stretch the arms out to the side. And then take the arms back. So coming into a little bit of a back bend. As you inhale, arms grow long, chest lifts. And as you exhale, hands float down. Rest them on your lap. Roll the shoulders. Move the neck. Lovely. And then sitting back all the way in your chair. Let the back rest against the back of the chair. Allow the hands to drop into the lap. And just find the softness in the body, allowing yourself to sink, be held. Allow the breath to be even. And then taking the next few moments in your own time, take as long as you need to just be here, feeling the body, feeling the breath, and giving yourself this important time to just integrate everything that you've done. And take as much time as you need. I will leave you here. Thank you so much for joining me.